Hey everybody, and welcome to my twin flame video. I'm Dominica, and I will be your host for this video, and hopefully will be your host to a string of many more videos to come. So this video I was inspired to do on the topic of twin flames. Yeah, fun stuff, twin flames. Yeah. So you think you met your twin flame, huh? And you want to know the top things to look for, the top things you're going to need to know about what this is, what you can expect from this relationship? Well, then you came to the right place, because I believe I have a lot of knowledge that I've gathered over a pretty much 6-month period or 4 or 5-month period that I've been studying this phenomenon. And so I'm eager, excited to share what I've discovered, share what I've learned here today with you guys. Okay, so let's start with what a twin flame is not. A twin flame is not your half of your soul, the other half of your soul, or half of your soul. We don't come into this incarnation with half a soul, okay? It takes a full soul, not a half soul. So get that out of your mind and don't even think about that, because this is not your other half of your soul. Because I think that there's a lot of misinformation out there. That's why I'm doing this video. I think there's a lot of misunderstandings surrounding what twin flames are, what the twin flame relationship is, and what it's for. This relationship will take you to your greatest heights, your highest heights, but also your lowest lows and your lowest depths. I can promise you that. It will be amazingly blissful in the very beginning. So blissful. But it doesn't stay that way forever. I'd say within the first 4 to 6 weeks, you're gonna notice some cracks in the foundation start to appear, and then you'll start to get down to the real purpose of why you're meeting this person, which I believe the twin flame relationship can be a pretty rare occurrence. I mean, it's but then again, it could be more common of an experience than I think. I've done a lot of research and read a lot of material on twin flames. Done a lot of Facebook commentary, analyzation of twin flames relationships, and so I finally feel like I have a good perspective on what this relationship is all about. This is about soul transformation and spiritual transformation is what this is about. This person will both inspire you and scare you at the same time. But as through many spiritual transformations, as many spiritual awakenings are, they're not very pretty. They're not always pretty. They can be very, very difficult to understand and difficult to deal with and go through. What a twin flame does and what a twin flame is it acts as a mirror which mirrors yourself and the negative aspects of yourself that need to be improved upon by them, through them. They will be the one who shows you the truth through actions of many times your own making. Okay? So first of all, I run a Facebook spiritual guidance coaching thing that I've ran for about 6 months now, where I teach soul alchemy through the practice and use of shadow work and the study of the ego and the dark aspects of ourselves. I do that with astrology, by the use of astrology as a way to facilitate that. Obviously it's going to require a lot of honesty in yourself and with yourself about yourself. It's going to take a lot of that. Because this person is here to help you grow spiritually. That's what a twin flame relationship is for, is to help you grow spiritually. So this person you have vibrated into your existence through the universe has vibrated this person into your life to be a facilitator for great change and great expansion, spiritually speaking. So when they say twins, because I think there's a lot of like misinformation about what twin flames are, and a lot of poor descriptions and poor hype that doesn't really answer a lot of questions out there. So that's why I wanted to do this video. Twin flames are someone who is going to shine your weaknesses, shine your positive traits and aspects of yourself, as well as mirror negative aspects of yourself. And that's why it can be such a hard thing to deal with. Especially like in the beginning, it's bliss, it's blissful, pure bliss in the beginning. because you feel like you've never been so understood in your entire life, and that you feel like you've never been so loved by somebody in your life, and all that fun stuff before it gets real, before it gets tough. And it's gonna get tough. If it's all bliss and roses for you in your relationship, and then it's not a twin flame relationship. Then you haven't met your twin flame, because this will be one of the most difficult things that you can go through, and it can also be one of the most rewarding things you go through as well, as you go on this journey. So I believe in astrology, and that was always my first love. I've been on this quest for quite some time now. I'm 42. I'm going to be 43 here in a couple weeks. And my twin flame is 30, also due to become a year older in a couple weeks, just like me, as we share the same birthday. So when this person showed up, it was like she was literally like my twin in so many respects. If you look at the aspects of what our sign was, then she very much resembled aspects of myself. I use the astrology aspects in my soul alchemy coaching that I do. And it's very tremendously helpful. So I've studied myself and done a lot of introspective work on myself for like over 20 years. Like, I started this journey when I was like 16, maybe 18 was my first real awakening. Was when I was like 18 is when I had my first like real spiritual awakening. Like, I was starting to mess around with astrology quite a bit when I was 16, but by the time I was 18, I was having full-blown expansion, that were not, that things might not be all that they seem or appear to be. I grew up in a very small family. Basically was raised by my mom and no brothers or sisters. So I was always given spiritual belief and a spiritual belief to believe in God, but I was never completely told strictly, this is what you must believe. So I think that ultimately benefited me in the long run. Like, it seemed like at the time it was like just a curse, but I see now in the long run that having very little spiritual you must do this type of attitude from my parent was very, ultimately it was a very positive thing, to have that wide open ability to believe what I want to believe. Her family was raised a Christian, which I'm not here to pass any judgments on what religion affiliation you go by, because I'm a very spiritual person, and we'll probably get into it with some other videos as requested. But um, I believe Jesus was a real person. I believe that he was a servant of light and sent here for a very specific purpose that we won't get into now. That's another video, but I'm just saying basically that I'm not here to judge you. I'm not here to like say that what you believe is right or wrong. We're just trying to link the spirituality connection to the twin flame relationship. Okay, so this relationship from start to finish lasted about 3 months, and I do believe that there are some twin flames out there that can make a go of the relationship and make it work for them, depending on what stage of your spirituality you are, what stage of enlightenment you're on, because twin flames often can be at different points in their lives, but you're basically both at a very similar juncture in your life, and at a point to where they're in they have an ability to be able to reflect your negative aspects of yourself, but do it in a way that's not like completely 100% destructive, which it can very much feel that way. I promise you. So yeah, our relationship lasted, around 3 months. It hasn't been very long since we've been broken up, and I think that ultimately in the long run we'll probably remain friends. But as of now, like as of a couple weeks ago, this was not looking pretty for me. It's not looking good. So I'm just glad that I emerged out the other side whole and intact relatively, and feel like I'm in a better spiritual understanding of myself than I was, because that's ultimately what this is all about, is about change. This isn't about bliss or that this person is the most perfect person for you ever created to love you. Then yeah, that's not a twin flame relationship. That would be more of I would feel like it would be more of a soulmate type relationship. So I think a lot of people have it backwards, flipped, because in a soulmate relationship, you guys are vibrating pretty much the same, and so you're able to reach conclusions and agreements a lot better with a soulmate relationship. And you'll have very, not completely free of strife, but not as much strife or growth potential as there is with a twin flame relationship. I think a soulmate relationship generally is going to come along after a twin flame relationship, because as long as you have opportunity for spiritual growth, then there's going to be opportunity for growth through a twin flame. Like, that was one of the things that I thought was very confusing about twin flames. I'm like, is this person like my twin? Like, are we like the same soul? Are we, if this is my same soul, then I have to stay with this person. I have to look out for my own soul. And if I don't stay with this person, then I won't be looking out for my own soul. So I think that was one of the biggest confusing things, and it only served to hinder my growth and understanding of what this type of relationship was, because I went in and out of stages of this. I went in a stage of, is this my twin flame or twin flame zero? Oh my gosh, I think twin flames are real. This is my twin flame. This is my twin. And then stages of, oh, twin flames aren't real. And then back to, oh my gosh, yeah, they are real. And then, no, they're not real. And then, oh my gosh, yeah, twin flames are totally real. And like, in the end, I realized that twin flames are real. They just might not have been what I anticipated them to be, because it was so much bliss in the beginning that I thought that, oh great, person is so much like me. We're so similar in so many ways, that, and the love that we have for each other, and the love that has been produced from this experience has been so amazing. Like, yeah, in the beginning it is amazing. It is like that. I think you have a 4 to 6 week incubation period, depending on how much contact you have with each other, which me and her were pretty much texting nonstop, like for 14 days basically. She was not as spiritually far along as I was. She was an atheist or an agnostic for many years, and only within the last 2 or 3 years did she really to start to have her awakenings, spiritual awakenings and stuff like that, and think that the spirituality, she didn't come into her full realization of her spirituality for a couple years. Her brother died in 2017, and that really kicked it into overdrive and kick-started it. After he died, she had a spiritual meltdown basically, and ended up in the hospital, because everyone, including her husband, thought that she was crazy because she was seeing visions and was having weird things in her head about particular notions regarding things. And because she's a very psychically in tune and intuitive healer and psychic intuitive, which is a hallmark of our sign. It's a trait that we have, and I'm a clairsentient empath myself, so we're both empaths and both very psychically intuitive. Although she ultimately ended up having some gifts that maybe I didn't have, like maybe, because she sees things and gets things in her head via what I would call a download, in these visions and in these dreams that she would have. And so before me, she had been through 2 awakenings over a 2 to 3 year period, and I was going to be her 3rd and most major, in my opinion, spiritual awakening. It was, going to be, not that her other spiritual awakenings weren't significant, they were absolutely significant, but this one was the 3rd one. It's interesting that it's the number that was the 3rd one that basically would define who she is, and who she is and acts today as. So since I have been a follower of astrology for a long time, and since I use it in my spirit or soul alchemy, I was very much aware and in tune with who I am as a person and what my faults were and what my strengths were. And so, being that she's born on the same birthday as me, we're born on the last day of Pisces, which is really, our birthday is the last day of the last sign and both the first day of the first sign, all rolled up into one on the same day. It occurs, just at a different time. Yeah, astrology is that exact. If you didn't know that yeah, they know exactly to the minute when a planet goes into a new astrology sign. And there's many aspects and many planets that we have in our personality makeup that defines who we are. So it can be very useful as one goes through the process of discovering one's strengths and weaknesses. So it takes a lot of honesty about yourself on our part, which can be very difficult, but that's one of the reasons why you have the twin flame relationship. But all right, guys, I see I'm coming up on 30 minutes here, so I'm going to cut this into 2 parts. So we'll come back and we'll dive into a little bit more of the mechanics of the twin flame relationship in part 2. So hope to see you back. Dominicus signing out. Thanks, guys.